For the first song, we'll sing Majesty. It's already set already. To suit for our opening song. Can you all stand up, please, as we sing Ivan Suit?
Tayo po'y manalangin. Ang banal na makapangyarihan po sa lahat, sa hapong ito patuloy po kami lumalapit sa inyo na may pasasalamat sa mga buhay, sa pagpapala at pag-iingat na patuloy niyo pong pinaradarama sa bawat isa sa amin. Sa hapong ito, Panginoon, aming nilalapit sa inyo ang aming gagawing programa. Inaanyayahan namin ang inyong banal na espiritu ang manguna sa bawat isa sa amin at naway maging pagpapala ito sa bawat isa. Maingatan naming banal ang araw ng Sabat. Patawarin kami sa aming nagawang pagkakasala. Salamat po muli sa pagdinig po sa aming panalangin sa pangalan ni Jesus.
Hello. Thank you so much, Brother Marco and Sister Darla, and Brother Jonathan. So, next natin ay roll call. Familiar po ba kayo sa mga tao sa Bible? Okay. Ang roll call natin ay, our roll call today is a prophet, king, or apostle. Okay? So, magbibigay yan. Apostle, king, or prophet. So, mag-show dyan yung name. Sasabihin natin kung sino siya. Okay? Isa-isa. Anong gusto nyo? Isa-isa o taas ng kamay? Taas ng kamay o individual? Okay. First question. Solomon. Answer? King. Wow. Second. Enoch? Prophet? Enoch. Si Enoch. Sino siya? Yeah. King, prophet, and apostle. Prophet? Any answer? Any answer? Prophet? Prophet? The answer is prophet. Next. Simon Peter, apostle. Next. Prophet? Prophet? Are you sure? Wala dun sa category natin. Ha? Hindi. Apostle, hindi. Hindi naman siya king, di ba? So, titira tayo dun sa dalawa. Prophet. Answer is? Prophet. Next. Andrew. Apostle. Son of Ace. Next. David. King. Prophet. Oh. Hindi, prophet. At least alam natin. Next. Jonah. Prophet. Ha? Magbukod kaya tayo para may ano, no? Okay na yan? Sige. Answer. Prophet. Next. Ha? Ha? Meron ba tayong king? Okay. Ano siya? King. Next. James, the son of Apostle. Answer. Next. Daniel. Prophet. Answer. Galing nga. Next. David. Answer. King. Prophet. Ibang king yun, ibang David yun, dalawa. Si David nasa Bible yun. Isa, prophet. Yung ito, king. Ah. Yung isa new, yung isa old. Okay? Next. Joshua. Prophet. Answer. Next. King. Apostle. King, apostle. Answer. Apostle. Ezekiah. King, prophet. 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 Dapat answer, king. Okay. Question. John. Apostle. Apostle. Answer. Next. Abraham. Prophet. Prophet. Answer. Next. Semaiah. Semaiah. Ha? King? King? Yan yung nasa Bible talaga. Queen? Jill, nandyan yung prophet. Ah. Yeah, 1 King 12:22. Read. Mm. Next question. Jehoram. Sino to? Ha? King? King? Prophet? Answer, ladies. King, prophet, prophet, king. Answer, king. Sakra. Yan yung nasa books of the Bible yan. Prophet? Answer, prophet. Yan na. Nasa Bible din to. King, answer, king. Timothy. Answer. Next. Samuel. Answer. Next. Moses. Prophet. Next. Manasseh. Prophet. Ha? Prophet. King Manasseh. King. Answer. King. Next. Si Philip. Morris. Apostle. Apostle. Next. John the Baptist. Answer. Next. Si God. Si God to, nasa Bible din to. Iba spelling. Si God, siya ay answer. Prophet. Okay. Si Silas. Apostle. Apostle? Ano complete? Ano complete niya, ha? Apostle? Answer? Prophet. Next. Parang naulit na tayo, no? Hindi ba? Sino to? Prophet? Answer. King. Sakarai. Ito. Si Apostle. Answer. Next. Si Tomas. King. Answer. Apostle. Next. Anihia. King. 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 Sir, prophet. Sino siya? Nasa Bible din po yan. Sa 1 King 11:29. Yan, diyan siya papakilala. Nahum, books of the Bible. Prophet, answer. Next, Simon. Simon. Simeon. Answer, prophet. Dati siya apostle, ngayon nag-angat na siya, prophet. Na-promote siya. Next. King. 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 Answer. King. Next. Hosea. Actually. King. King. Answer. King. Next. James, the son of wife of Jojo. Answer? Apostle. Next, kailan na tayo? Jacob? Prophet? Prophet? Answer? Next? Joseph? Pwede mag-prophet? Di ba binenta nga siya? King? Prophet? Ha? Prophet? The answer is prophet. Hindi siya naging king. Si Saul. Si Saul. King. Answer. King. Next. Eliezer. Eliezer. Prophet. King. Prophet. Dito. Prophet. King. Hindi siya pwedeng apostol. Wala siya ron eh. Answer. Prophet. Next. Tadeus, Judas, apostle. Answer is tama. Rehoboam. Rehoboam. King. 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 Answer. King. Just. Sino to? Jahaziel? Or Sel? Si Siel yan. Si Siel. Sino yan? Answer. Prophet. King? King. Asaraya. King? Answer? Prophet. Next. Simon the Silot. Ano siya? Apostle. Answer. Next. Last 5. Uriah. King? King? Prophet? Answer is prophet. Matias. Ino to? Apostle? Apostle? Ano sa inyo? Answer? Balaam. Sino to? Hindi, si Balaam yan yung ano, di ba? Yung pinalubog ng 7 beses sa ilog. Diba yun? Sino yun? Yan yun, di ba, na may ketong? Oo nga. Oo. Sino yung sinasabi ko? Yo, at least alam nyo. Hindi kayo maliligaw ng kung sino man. Di ba? Hindi kayo maliligaw. Answer is? Tanan! Tanan! Prophet. Last 2. Si Paul. Answer? Last 1. Josh. King. Oh. Answer? King. Thank you so much. At least na-review tayo. Welcome, Pastor JC Sarmiento. Okay. Next. Sino nga yung una? Special number ni Sister Jojo and Sister Jinky. Dre, di ba meron ng Bible drill, di ba?
Hello.
Hello?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Sumunod ka lang sa akin. Serious.
Tawa-tawa ka.
Serious. Only gana.
Pag ikaw, tatawan din kita.
Um, ang susunod po natin ay Bible quiz found in Matthew 20:22 to 28. Quiz, Bible quiz. Matthew 22 to 28. Last na po ito sa Matthew. Next time is Mark na. Matthew, Mark. Same pa rin, 1 to 20, multiple choice, and then 21 to 30 ay true or false. Mark,
Palayan po, matatanggap namin palayan.
ready na po? Naka-flash na yung number 1. 1 to 30, 1 to 20, multiple choice, 21 to 30, true or false. Same pa rin. Hindi, English na. 1 to 20, multiple choice. 21 to 30 ay true or false. Same pa rin. Ready na? Okay na? Pwede na ang number 2? Yan na, yung number 1. When the king came in to see the guests, what or whom did he see? A woman, A bronze object, C, a man not wearing wedding clothes, D, Jesus. Next. Number 2, where did the king throw that man? Yung answer do sa number 1, yung man na yan ang tinutukoy. Into a prison, B into the outer darkness, C to the lions, D into the streets. Number 3, what did Jesus say about paying taxes to Caesar? A, do not pay. B, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. C, give it to the poor. D, hide the money. Number 4, what is the greatest commandment according to Jesus? A, love God. B, do not steal. C, love your neighbor. D, honor your parents. Number 4. Number 5. Whom did Jesus rebuke for being hypocrites? A, the Jews. B, the Romans. C, the fishermen. D, the scribes and Pharisees. Number 6, where was Jesus sitting when the disciples came to him privately? A, by the sea. B, in the temple. C, in the boat. D, on the Mount of Olives. Okay na? Number 7. What are the signs of the end of times? A, wars, earthquakes, and famine. B, great harvest. C, nothing will happen. D, poverty only. Who did Jesus say will be saved in chapter 24? A. The disciples. B. The one who endures to the end. C. The kings and the Jews. D. The servants. 9. What reminder did Jesus give about his return? A. He will not come. B. There is a certain time. C. No one knows. D. It will be tomorrow. 10. How many women were in the parable? A. 15. B. 10. C. 1. D. Only 5. 11. What was the difference between the wise and foolish virgins? A. Wealth. B. Age. C. Oil. D. Clothing. 12. What did the servant who received 1 talent do? A. Hid it in the ground. B. Spent it. C. Gave it to someone else. D. Multiplied it. 13. What was done to the wicked servant? A. He was fed. B. He was released. C. He was punished. C. He was sent away. 14. Who will judge the nations? Balik. 14. Who will judge the nations according to Jesus? A. Prophet. B. A king. C. The Son of Man. D. A disciple. Next. While Jesus was in Bethany, in whose house he staying? 14 daw uli. 15. While Jesus was in Bethany, in whose house was he staying? A. Simon the disciple's house. B. John's house. C. A woman's house. D. Simon the leper's house.
Sixteen.
16. What did the woman pour on Jesus? A. Ointment, perfume. B. Oil. C. Water. D. Wine. 17. Who betrayed Jesus? O alam nyo na yan. A. James. B. Judas Iscariot. C. Peter. D. Paul. Next. After they bound Jesus and led him away, to whom did they deliver him? A. Judas Iscariot. B. Zebedee. C. Pilate the governor. D. Barabbas. 19. What did Jesus say when the ninth hour was near? A. Talita kumi. B. Amen. C. Abba. D. Eli Eli lama sabachthani. 20. What did Jesus command his disciples before ascending into heaven? A. Travel around the nations. B. Remain silent. C. Preach to all nations. D. Be good people. True or false? 21 to 30, true or false? Number 1, Jesus spoke to them in parables, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who... Bakit? Bakit putol? that Jesus spoke to them in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding feast for his daughter." True or false? Mm. For his daughter. True or false? Number two, whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. True or false? Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Number three, Jesus Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives when the disciples came to him privately. True or false? Next, number four. The wise virgins told the foolish virgins to give them some of their oil. True or false? Number five, Jesus said while they were eating that three of them would betray him. True or false? Number five. Now, number 25. Jesus said while they were eating that three of them would betray him. True or false? Number 6, 26. Peter said to Jesus, "Even if all fall away because of you, I will never fall away." True or false? Peter said to Jesus, "Even if all fall away because of you, I will never fall away." 27. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. True or false? 28. All the people answered and said, "His blood be on us and our children." True or false? All the people answered and said, "His blood be on us and on our children." 29. At dawn on the first day of the week, there was a great earthquake, and an angel of the Lord descended from heaven. True or false? At dawn on the first day of the week, there was a great earthquake, and an angel of the Lord descended from heaven. True or false? 30. The angel said, "Go quickly and tell his disciples that he has risen from the dead and goes before you to Gethsemane." True or false? The angel said, "Go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead and goes before you to Gethsemane." Hmm. Exchange paper. Exchange paper. Andre, pakibalik. Peter said to Jesus, "Even if all fall away because of you, I will never fall away." Number 24. Dre 24. The wise virgins told the foolish virgins to give them some of their oil. Okay na? May sagot na ba yan? Exchange daw. May sagot? Ha? May sagot? Meron. Oo. Ano yun na lang natin? Discuss na lang. Number 1. Anong sagot? Letter C. 2. Where did the king throw the man? B. B. Into the outer darkness. Number 3. B. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. B. 4. A. Love God. Greatest. Oh. A ang answer. Number 5. D. Scribes and Pharisees. Number 6. D. On the Mount of Olives. 7. A. 8. B. 9. C. No one knows. B. 11. C. 10 anak. 10. B. 11. C. 12. A. 13. C. 14. C. 15. D. Simon the leper's house. D. 16. D. Simon the leper's house. D. D. Simon the leper's house. 14, Dre. C. 16. A. B. 17, B. 18, C. 19, D. 20, C. C. Preach to all nations. True or false? True or false? Number 1, false. False. Number 2, true. 3, true. Number 4, false. Number 5, false. Number 6, true. Number 7, true. Number 8, true. Number 9, true. Number 10, false. Ah, sino ang naka-30? 30, 29, 29, 28, 27, Darla, 26, 29. Oh, okay na. 29, 27, 26. 27, 27 si Ate Marisa at saka si Bona. Ilan ba kukunin? Tatlo? Sila lang tatlo. Sumunod, pangatlo sila, pero dalawa sila.
26, 26. Darla, halika na. Yeah. Dito natatapos ang ating NCLEX exam. So, tapos ng Matthew, ibibigay ko ang corona kay Sister Bona for the next Sabbath, the book of Mark. Ang Mark po, ang chapter nito ay 1 to... Hindi, 1 to 16, di ba chapter? So, 1 to 16 divide 4 chapter every Sabbath. Okay? So, ito po ang mga nagwagi. First runner-up.
Hindi kasi,
Ano?
pero ang consistent po kasi na laging nasa top si Tita Jinky.
Ah,
Yung the first two kasi na quiz, di ba, kinuha
Total
lang po
tayo.
namin yung top 3, hindi ko po nakuha yung score.
hindi, wag mo nasasama yung first kasi nagbigay tayo ng ano nun eh.
Oo nga,
may
pero
gitna yun.
kahit nga yung top 2, hindi ko nga nakuha yung, yung second quiz, hindi ko din nakuha yung score. Pero ang top 3 kasi din nung second quiz, 'di ba po?
Oo.
Pero basta ang consistent po talaga si Tita
Yung
Jinky.
number 1 sino?
Saan?
Ngayon, si Sister Jinky na. Ang number 2,
Kasi
Nakuha mo
absent
ba yung-
po sila nung dalawa,
nakuha
dalawa
mo ba
na
yung
eh.
total?
Opo, pero usually top din sila pag po nandito sila eh.
Sino?
Si Tita Edgy tsaka si Tito Jaddy. Opo.
So, ang nakuwang score ni Sister Jinky, anong score?
Wala nga total. Hindi nga, mahirap nga kung ito-total mo. Kasi lagi ngang nasa top. Kasi tingnan mo din to, nung last Sabbath. 1, 2, 3.
Sino nga? Kaya nga sino makakatanggap ng first award?
Si Tita Jinky.
Okay, ang makakatanggap ng first award. Ano yun? Hindi, ano yun? Makakatanggap ka ng isang sakong basmati rice for the next Sabbath, sa isang Sabado. Yeah. Basmati. Tapos,
I would say si Tito Edgar.
ang next si Brother Edgar. Ngayon. Pwede, kalahating kaban. Pwede yun, di ba?
Tapos sinong po si Tita Marisa?
Tapos, ang third, Sister Marisa. So, surprise yung dalawa kung ano matatanggap yung Sabado. Mm. Sa Sabado po, sa inyo, basta tatanggapin nyo yung inyong gift. So, sayang wala na eh. Wala na yung avocado. Ganyan siya ngayon, bagong tubo. So, sa Sabado, si Sister Bona na po ang tatayo dito para sa Bible quiz. Okay? Or next part, Sister Marisa and Brother Joey para sa special number. And susunod si Brother Jail for the short talk.
Test, test. That was some great singing, amen? Amen. Okay. Oh, I left the clicker. One sec. Okay. Afternoon, everybody. Happy Sabbath. So, for today's short talk, Andre was asking me today, Gia, why did you volunteer to do the short talk? It seemed random, right? Um, so about a week ago, when I believe Brother JD was speaking, JD Tolentino was speaking at our Vespers, he made a comment that really caught my attention. He said, I've been in the US for so long, I've been working so long, and I just recently found out about a Roth IRA, and I could put money into it. And I was thinking, the past few months, I'm beginning my career. I've been doing a lot of research into personal finance. And I realized something. I haven't heard a lot of financial ministry in the Seventh-day Adventist community, right? We have the health ministry, right, which is very, very prominent, right? We have health fairs and everything. But I've never heard someone come up and explain the importance of finances, right? When we talk about finances, mostly it's about the 10% tithe, right? Tithes and offering, giving back to your church. But no one really talks about the other 90% that we're in charge of, that God gives us custody over, that we're in charge of growing, saving, and investing. So that's the inspiration for today's topic, which is called More Than Tithing. Believe it or not, this is actually created by AI, which is really nice. There's no mistakes or anything on it. You check the verses yourself; they're accurate. Yeah, just type it into ChatGPT, the free version, and boom, that's what it gave out. So, yeah, because I'm not very good when it comes to visuals, so I asked ChatGPT, hey, can you come up with a visual for my short talk? And it gave me that. So, more than tithing, okay? Before we start, I'm actually gonna show, well, here's the title. Oh, it's not working, but I'm gonna show you guys. I told you guys this would be an interactive short talk, okay? So get out your phones. I'm gonna have you guys scan the QR code, and it's gonna be a sort of temperature check, a vibe check, on the topic of finances, okay? I think it's gonna be anonymous, so your name is not attached to it. So get your phones ready. I'm gonna show you guys a QR code that we're gonna do a live poll together, okay? Go ahead and scan the QR code, or you can go to menti.com and put in those numbers, okay? So once we have everyone responded, I'm gonna show you guys the distribution. Okay, take your time. The reason I'm not showing you the distribution right now is so you don't get influenced by other people's answers. So we'll see everyone's answers. It's anonymous. Yes, only 3 questions. So with the slider, if you put it all the way to the left, you disagree with the statement. All the way to the right, you strongly agree with the statement. And in the middle is neutral, and slightly left is disagree, and then slightly right is agree. Okay, it's a slider. All right, once that bar is full on the bottom right, I'm gonna go ahead and ask Andre, not just yet, but once everyone has responded. I think we're waiting on 6 people. All right, one more person. All right. All right, Andre, go ahead and click on the bottom left, show responses. Okay, so if you look at that first one, right, about a 2.7 average, so mostly I would say lean slope towards or to slightly towards disagree, but more neutral on the first one. Investing in the stock market is gambling. In the statement, a Christian should avoid all debt. Looks like mostly towards or slightly towards agree. And same with the you should give even when you were struggling financially is agree. Okay, that was just kind of a vibe check, a sort of temperature check on how we feel about certain maybe controversial topics about finances. Andre, can you click on the next slide on the bottom left-hand corner for me? All right, here's another one. Go ahead and scan your QR code again. A lot of polls today, guys. All right, the question is, if God gave you an extra $1,000 today, what would you do with it? And this is going to be a free response. There are no right or wrong answers. All right, same thing as last time. Once everyone has submitted the response, I'm going to show the all of the responses. That's an option. I guess let's do 30 more seconds. Also, while you guys are still filling out those responses, I'll encourage you guys to just get your notes app ready, get your camera app ready. This is gonna be a lot of information. I'm going to bombard you guys with a lot of information that's gonna be hard to remember if you're just maybe not taking notes, not taking pictures. So I encourage you guys get ready to just be bombarded with a whole bunch of information. This is gonna be a lot of stuff. So we have a lot of slides for you here today, but this is going to be a two-part series, okay? Today I'm going to be talking about mostly the sort of personal finance basics, right? What should we do with the 90% that we're yes, for the 90% coming from that we give the 10% tithe to God, and God entrusts us with the rest of the 90% to grow, right? So next week, right, already alluding to another topic, we're gonna be diving in towards investing 101 or investing for beginners, okay? We're gonna briefly mention investing today, but we need to make sure that we're covering all our bases, that we're making sure that we have important sort of financial practical reasons we need to cover first before we get into investing. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just show responses now. Go ahead, Andre, click on show responses. All right, let's see here. So the answers that we have is I'm going to save it. Someone says save 50%, invest 25%, spend 25%. Someone says give back to God 10%, and save the rest, even though he's giving you back the 1,000, which is fine. The other person give 10% aside again, and a little bit of offerings and enjoy the and use the rest for myself. Someone said donate, very charitable. Keep 20, give away 80%. Give tithe 10% to church, building project, church buffet. That's a good one. I like that one, church buffet. And buy my needs. And someone said give tithes and offering, donate portions to other church ministries and church building projects, right? So you guys should notice, it's kind of all over the place, right? I think we're leaning towards like, okay, I want to save, I want to invest, and I want to spend some for myself. But there's not really, we don't really know how much should we be saving and investing. Where do I put my next dollar, okay? That's what is, if you ask every person here, I'm sure they'll give you a different answer for how much should you invest, how much should you save, how much should you give away. But what I want to show you guys here today is there is a actually step-by-step process so that you know how much should I save, how much should I invest, and how much can I spend for myself, all right? Andre, if you can, are you able to bring me back towards my Google Slides? So just press escape there and then move it to the left to the other screen. Press escape one more time, maybe. Let's see. There we go. Okay, perfect. And just bring me back to the slides. Thank you, Andre. All right. So just to briefly go over, if you were here in our service today, we talked about the parable of the talents in my sort of offertory service part. So just to recap briefly what it is and why it's so important to my topic today, right? We have 3 servants. 2 of them were able to invest and double their money, while the third one was able to just keep it in the ground and didn't really do anything with it, right? And he was scolded and said, the master told him, I expected you to do more with what you were given, right? When this topic comes up, a lot of people say, okay, yeah, we say this in regards to our talents, right? If someone has talent in singing, they're expected to sort of use their talents for the church so they can grow their talent and hopefully inspire other people. But this also is a sort of direct reflection on our finances for today, okay? It's saying, with the money that you have today, you should be able to, and you are expected to, be able to grow your money, to not just let it sit in the bank, not just let it sit in the ground. Because my friends, if you are just letting a large sum of money sitting in your regular checkings and savings account, you are losing that money to interest. Interest is the idea that your dollar today is going to be worth less tomorrow because of the increase in goods and services, right? Every single day, the dollar that lives in your bank account is going to lose out on its original value, right? So this is actually saying, hey, watch out. If you just leave your money sitting there and not let it grow, you're actually going to be losing money in the long term. So, in essence, financial stewardship is spiritual stewardship. In other words, how we handle our money directly reflects on our ability to be able to reach out to others spiritually. Because think about it. What greater testimony is it to say to other people, to inform them, hey, I have an amazing retirement account. I have all these investments that are growing for me. And I'm still able to give 10% of my income to God, right? And maybe your friends are like, 10%, that seems like so much. How are you able to do this? So this is an amazing way. If you're able to take hold of your finances and be able to grow it and not succumb to things like credit card debt, large car payments, which is a huge, huge um, sort of napalm on your finances, and sort of just unnecessary debt that you don't have to get into, then you are a living testimony to other people saying, hey, I have some advice I can share with you about my finances. Here's how I was able to grow it. And I want to share that with you. And that can lead into a conversation about tithing, about God, and maybe they get interested about Christianity. So financial stewardship is spiritual stewardship, especially when other people around you are seeing all your financial success because you were able to manage your money and grow it according to how the Bible wants you to. Make sense? Okay. So, I believe we have. Sorry, Andre. I'm gonna make Andre earn his paycheck here today, folks. I'm going to. Andre, can you switch me back to that the polling website? Perfect. And can you click on my presentation? We're gonna go to slide 3. Okay, we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. You guys are going to guess a number from 1 to 100, okay? So go ahead and go slide 3, and then on the top right-hand corner, start presenting. Same thing, get your phones out. We're gonna be using our phones a lot today in this presentation, folks, okay? And then go ahead, let's make it full screen so we can, the top right-hand corner. Thank you. All right, what percentage of Americans can cover a $1,000 emergency? All right, you have a 1 in 100 chance in getting this right. Let's see if someone gets it. If someone gets this right, I'll get them a prize, okay? Let's see. And no cheating, no, no Google. What percentage of Americans can cover a $1,000 emergency? And think about it for yourself. If a $1,000 emergency happened to you tonight, if your car broke down, are you able to cover it out of pocket with cash? Or do you have to take out a loan? Do you have to put it on your credit card? Are you able to cover a $1,000 emergency? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, did someone put 100% of Americans? I'm not sure that's true, but it's like people are skewing towards around, what's that, 40 to 60%? Some people in the low tens. All right, give you guys about 30 more seconds. Let's get our guesses in. What percentage of Americans can cover a $1,000 emergency? If you were to maybe, lose all your tires, or your car breaks down, you break a leg, something happens. Because remember, it's not if an emergency will happen, it's when an emergency happens. Or we can go ahead and let's show the correct answer, Andre, on the bottom left-hand corner here. 47%. Did someone get it? Or is someone close? Close. 48. Oh, so close. But yes, roughly 1 in 2 people. So in this room of people we have here, about half of you can cover a $1,000 emergency out of pocket without having to put it on a credit card or taking out loans, okay? And this should scare you guys. I don't know about you, but when I see this statistic, I'm like, that's scary, because if that were me, I would always be on edge if I didn't have $1,000 to cover an emergency, right? I don't want to be having to make desperate decisions in order to just cover an emergency, right? Because once you start making desperate decisions, you're taking out payday loans, which are accruing interest, which could even go into hundreds of percents, which will be more disastrous for your finances in the long run, okay? All right, Andre, let's go ahead and put me back to the Google Slides. And we're going to have to start paying Andre over here sometime soon. Let's get him on the church payroll, guys. Right. So about right, 53% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency, and that is a scary, scary statistic. Okay. So we're just gonna go over some more biblical principles really quickly before we get into the sort of meat and potatoes. All right. If you look at Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5, the plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. What does that say? Should we be just guessing our finances? Should we just be um, not being intentional with our finances? Or does it make sense to plan, to be intentional, and to know what's coming in our bank account and what's going out of our bank account, right? Because the plans of the diligent surely lead surely to plenty. If you put in the time and effort now to plan your finances, it's going to be much easier to achieve the plenty, right? Look at Luke chapter 16, verse 10. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. And he who is unjust in what is least is unjust also in much. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to invest because I don't have that much right now. That's for people with millions of dollars. No, folks. He who has little now can do so much, even if it's just a little bit. Because if you're able to grow just a little bit of what you have currently, no matter what state you're in, then once the big blessings come in, once God is able to increase your finances through not only your hard work, but because of your faithfulness, then you can be sure that you will be able to manage that money well. So managing your money, even right now, wherever you are in your financial journey, is so important. And lastly, Matthew chapter 25, verse 21, this is going back to the parable of the talents. Where the master is telling him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. So the burden falls on us to be financially responsible. Some people will say, well, I don't need to save and invest because I just trust God to do it for me. Is that wise? There is some truth to that. Don't mishear me. It is perfectly good and should be expected of us to trust God with our finances, to put aside 10%. But at the same time, you have to put in the work yourself. And that's what we're going to be going over. All right, this is going to be the sort of last part of our interactions here. And then I'm going to dive into the actual step-by-step process, okay? All right, Andre. We're going to have some 2 true and false questions. So can you bring us back to the slides? We're going to go on to the next slide here. It's going to be slides 4 and 5. Go on slide 4. All right. Let's see. Go forward. Let's see. Slide 4. Careful there. All right, start presentation. Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and go back on your phones. I think if you're... No, there we go. Perfect. So there's a QR code. All right, we're going to have 2 true or false questions. No, just go ahead and put your first name on there for me. All right, are we ready? Who's still trying to scan the code? Are we good? All right, 10 people ready? Are you ready? All right. Go ahead and start the quiz on the bottom left-hand corner for us, Andre. All right. True or false? Over 50% of individuals making over $100,000 report living paycheck to paycheck. True or false? 15 seconds. Answer is true. Over 50% of individuals, right? What does this show, guys? Even if you are making a high income, if you are spending more than what you make, you are going to be living paycheck to paycheck. Right? A lot of people think just because I have a high income means I'm going to be set for life. No. It depends on what you're spending it on, right? If I'm making $100,000 a year and I'm spending $100,000 I'm broke, right? So this is a scary statistic because you think people with higher income means they know how to manage money better, right? Not at all. This is why this is so important to have financial literacy, especially in this day and age, so you know what to do with your next dollar. All right, go ahead and go to the next question, Andre, for us. All right, question 2 of 2. All right, you can go ahead and start quiz. The bottom left-hand corner, Andre. All right. Statistics show that roughly 20% of current millionaires received zero inheritance from their parents or relatives. True or false? This means that they were able to become millionaire all on their own. Let's see. Oh, 50-50 again. This one is false. Does anyone know what percent of current millionaires? Anyone want to guess? So the number is actually 80% of current millionaires. This means that this is zero inheritance, zero trust funds, zero money passed down from generation to generation. They were able to become a millionaire all on their own based on their financial knowledge, right? Again, this is why it's so important to be financially literate, because you actually don't need to have a rich family to become rich. You just need to know what the steps are in order to get there and commit to it, okay? All right, Andre, thank you so much. Go ahead and put us back to the Google slides. What I want to introduce to you guys today is called the Financial Order of Operations, also known as the FOO. Say it with me, guys, the FOO. The FOO, right. If you guys, who's familiar with PEMDAS? What's PEMDAS? The mathematical operations, right? You do things in a certain order. What's the first one? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. What if I told you there was a PEMDAS for your money? What if I told you there's a certain order of things that you need to do in order to be financially well? All right? And then I'm going to go ahead and move on here. Here's what I want you guys, you're going to be seeing this a lot. This is going to come up a lot in our presentation. These are the 9 steps. We're going to dive into these 9 steps, right? But before we dive into these 9 steps, remember, we're coming at this from a Christian standpoint, right? What are we missing here? Does anyone know what we're missing in these 9 steps? Just think about it, all right? Just a sort of some ground rules before we get into it. Number 1, generosity is rewarding. What this means is you don't need to be at a particular step in order to give to others, right? I know there's a lot of people during that first survey we had, they felt really strongly about being generous with their money, even though they're not financially where they want to be. Number 1, generosity is rewarding, and you should feel like you should be able to give no matter where you're at in the financial order of operations. Number 2, bedazzle your basic life. Now, what does this mean? Well, when we talk about saving and investing, we're not saying to not have fun. We're not saying you should just put all your money towards saving and investing and not go and experience life because, folks, money is just a tool, okay? Money is a tool to help you get the most out of life experiences, right? Eventually, once people start going their 20s, their 30s, even retirement, there's going to be huge life milestones that you're going to want to take part in. For example, getting married, having kids. Sometimes people will say, well, I'm not where I'm at yet. I don't want to have kids or get married. No, folks, you should be able to enjoy those life experiences and not feel like you're being bogged down by the foo, okay? And number 3, the foo is not a straight line. Like I mentioned, there's going to be ups and downs. Buying your first house, maybe you're buying a car, maybe you had a big emergency and you need to spend your emergency fund on it, right? It's not a straight linear line, which if it was, it would be so easy, right? But life happens. There are unexpected things in life. There are big purchases that you might be making. There are life experiences that you want to enjoy. So just keep that in mind. Just keep these 3 in mind when we're going to talk about the foo. All right, here's the foo again. All right. So before we talk about step 1, we're going to talk about step 0, right? As Christians, what are we sort of encouraged to do with our money when we get that first paycheck? What? Treat people, yes, that is one, like, in Filipino culture. Right, but of course, the tithing, right? Tithing. Before this money goes into our biggest investment we can ever make is giving back the 10% that belongs to God. What we're saying is, God, this 10% belongs to you. I'm going to trust that I'm going to help spread your word and that you're able to give me back the blessings that I'm initially giving so that not only do more people know about you, but I can also succeed financially, right? If you look at Malachi chapter 3, verse 10, we're faithfully returning his tithe to what's called the storehouse so that everyone can reap from the benefits, right? After tithing, we're also give offerings according to our blessings and generosity. Some people might ask, well, Brother Gio, what if I'm struggling financially? What if it's hard for me to make that 10%? What if I need to put food on the table first? Well, I think the Bible tells us a lot about it's what's in the heart and not exactly that exact 10% if things are hard, right? So if it's hard to make that 10%, it's my understanding that you give what you can and God knows your situation. God knows you're struggling. God knows what's in your heart and that you want to give, okay? So here's the financial order of operations. Step 1. We want to make sure that we're covering our highest deductible. Does everyone know what a deductible is? What's a deductible? Right? You guys can see that deductible is the amount of money you pay out of pocket for covered expenses before your insurance policy starts paying. Okay? For example, if you have a $1,000 deductible, you must pay the first $1,000 of your bills yourself, and then the insurance company covers the rest. It is very important for you to have insurance, health insurance, car insurance. This way, when life happens, when you have an emergency, you're not paying enormous costs, which could have been prevented if you had insurance. So, also make sure you have the right insurance, all right? If you guys look back at the FOO, if you look at steps 1 and steps 4, there are 2 steps dedicated to solely building up your emergency cash fund. The deductible is going to be part of your emergency reserve, but you want to make sure that your highest deductible is covered just in case something happens. Does anyone know what a high yield savings account is? Anyone heard of the HYSA? All right. These are the best places to store your money that's going to be used to cover your deductible and your emergency stores. Okay. Um, in your current bank account, it's probably making what? Close to 0% APY, right? So it's just sitting there losing money on interest. At least with a high yield savings account, they offer 10 to 20 times the national average interest rate. I personally use, it's called Ally Bank. They have, I believe, a 3.2% APY, right? 4%, yeah. So there's some great deals out there. You go do your research. There's some places offering 4%, but sometimes they say you must have like $5,000 initial deposit, or you must have direct deposit link. So make sure you check those terms and conditions, right? But it doesn't really matter which one you choose. What's important is that you do put it in a high yield savings account, right? We want to make sure we're focusing on the big main ideas here. We don't want to be called what's called majoring in the minors, right? Put it in a high yield savings account. It doesn't really matter which one, right? The main idea is here, put it in a high yield savings account. That way it's not losing too much money on interest, because this is money that's going to sit there until you need it. You are not touching this until you need to cover that deductible, all right? So this is going to be the highest deductible. For example, if my highest deductible is $1,500, I want to make sure I have $1,500 sitting in that high yield savings account so that it's going to be covered and I don't need to make desperate decisions and taking out loans to cover that, all right? So to complete step one, 3 things. Number 1, determine where to save, ideally in a high yield savings account. Number 2, determine how much to save. List out all your deductibles, highlight the largest amount, and then create margin in your budget to get there. This is the behavior. Meaning, I can't be saving money for my deductible if I'm always spending money every weekend and I never have money left over to save for the deductible, right? You need to create that margin in your budget. If that means eating out once a week instead of 3 times a week, you go ahead and do that. That way you're covering that deductible in case something happens. All right, this is the behavior-oriented portion. All right, step 2. Employer match. All right. Who knows what an employer match is? Does anyone know what that is? Right? It's when you put a certain percentage, maybe 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, into your 403B or 401K, which are your employer-sponsored retirement accounts. Your employer will match that a certain amount, maybe up to 100%, right? But you might be asking yourself, like, Gia, why is it step 2? Why is it so important? Why does it come in right after deductible? Why isn't this like step 5 or step 6? Well, number 1, this is free money, folks. This is free money. This is a guaranteed 100% rate of return if you put that match. Nearly 1 in 4 Americans are not getting their full employer match. They are leaving money on the table, okay? Imagine if your credit card had a 100% what's it called? APR. People would be going crazy. This could be 50 to 100% return on your match, which is just free money being given to you. Obviously, number 1, you need to make sure what the terms and conditions are. Some employer matches say, okay, you have to maybe work here 2 years in order to get the full amount that we can give you, right? So there are vesting requirements, vesting schedules that you need to take into account. So just make sure you read the fine print before doing the employer match. I know in my new company that I work at, they require you to work at least 1 full year before they start giving you that match, okay? So make sure that you know what the terms and conditions are. If you guys look at this chart here, on the left-hand side on the left column is the employer match. The middle column is the weeks of pay sacrificed per year, right? Because remember, this is going to be pre-tax. Before your income gets taxed, it's taken out. So if you're, for example, matching if the employer matches 3%, which is about 1.6 weeks of pay sacrificed per year, that turns out to 4 years of pay gained in retirement. This is a no-brainer. If you're not getting your full employer match, if you're not contributing enough to get your full employer match, you are leaving money on the table. This is as free money gets, okay? So obviously, the higher the employer match, right, the more years of pay gained in retirement. You look at that. If you find an employer that gives you a 10% match, let me know. I am going to their doorstep the next day. So that 10% match, 5 weeks of pay sacrifice, but you get 13 years of pay in retirement. Okay, do not skip this employer match. It's very important. It is so important, it comes before even paying high interest debt. Okay, number one, understand the details of your plan. Number two, you determine how much to contribute, right? If an employer says you're gonna match 3%, well, you contribute, match at least 3%. 6% match, try to match at least 6%. Do not leave money on the table. And the last one, you set it and forget it. Don't worry about it, don't even think about it. Make sure it's being invested. I've heard that some people are putting money in, but they actually have to invest it, right? You have to make that next step to invest it. So make sure whatever you're putting into your employer-sponsored retirement accounts, make sure that's being invested. Sometimes it's just sitting there collecting dust. Make sure it's invested. All right, what's next on our FU? What step are we on, guys? Step 3, high interest debt. This is so important, okay? This is why this is step 3, because high compound interest debt works against you. If you are carrying a credit card balance from month to month, ladies and gentlemen, you are losing money. Compound interest is working against you. What is compound interest? It's the process of earning interest on both your original money, which is called the principal, and the interest that accumulates over time. So your interest is earning interest. If you're carrying a credit card balance, folks, if you look at $5,000 in credit card debt versus $5,000 in investment, right, over the course of a year, maybe that investment earns around $400, but look how much you're losing on credit card interest, right? So make sure we are attacking this debt aggressively, because you are losing money every single day the longer you carry this balance. I want to say that credit card debt is chainsaw dangerous, right? Just like a chainsaw, it's very efficient in what? Cutting wood. But if you mishandle it, you're going to get hurt, all right? This is very serious, all right? We're going to go ahead and we're going to skip the polls for now, just for the sake of time. But if you guys can think, what percentage of American credit card holders carry a balance month to month? What do you guys think? Just, you hear 80%. Any other numbers out there? What do we think? Any lower guesses? Not 100%. People are paying out debts, I hope, month to month. So, it's not showing here, but basically, nearly 1 in 2, or nearly 50, I think I heard it here, 50% of all Americans credit a credit card balance month to month. So, take a look at this room. About 1 in 2 of you are carrying a credit card balance month to month. Hopefully, that's not the case. Maybe we're a little bit more financially literate, but we have a saying here. We're saying credit card use is A-okay, but credit card debt, no way. Say again, credit card use is what? But credit card debt, no way, right? We do not want compound interest working against us, preventing us from investing those dollars into, for example, an index fund, right? But what counts as a high interest debt? You might be thinking to yourself, that's not GL. I get credit card debts, but what other high interest debts are there? All right. Number 1, all credit card debt is high interest debt, period. Even if you have that, those 0% promotional openings. If you open a credit card, we'll give you a 0% APR the first 12 months. And you're like, yay, I get to spend as much as I want in the first year. But then once that first year passes and you haven't made a lot of payments, and then you're carrying a balance month to month, it's going to stack up over time. So even if you're carrying that 0% promotional APR, make sure you're still aggressively paying that off, because it's so easy to just forget about how much you have in that credit card, and then once the time comes to pay it, you're going to be stacking up on interest. All right? So other things like payday loans, store financing, any unsecured debt meaning it's not tied to like a physical asset like a car or a mortgage, right? Carried from month to month. You want to try and aggressively pay those off. That is high interest debt. Certain student loans, we're going to go into this in just a bit, all right? Depending on your age and interest rate, your student loan can actually be classified as a low interest debt, okay? And certain auto loans, we're going to go over this in a bit too. If they don't fall within the 23-8 rule, I'm going to go over this, you should consider that auto loan to be high interest debt and should be aggressively paying it off. I was watching a video the other day. Some people were paying like $1,200 a month for this new Jeep, this new Tesla they pay for $1,200 a month. That is crazy. That salesman is the happiest person on earth. Do not make car salespeople happy, folks. Mortgage. For most people, for most individuals, families, mortgages does not count as high interest debt, even at 2026 interest rate. And this is based on, because if you put in that money in the stock market, for instance, that gives you an annual rate of return about 6 to 8%. If you do the basic math, folks, that can actually be more than what you're getting on the debt for your mortgages. So most likely, and this is definitely on a case-by-case basis, depending on your age, if you're close to retirement, if you're just starting out, but usually mortgage debt can actually count as low interest debt, okay? So keep in mind that credit card debt, payday loans, store financing, unsecured debt, certain student loans, certain auto loans can count as high interest debt. Right, here's a nice little visual that talks about student loans, okay? So if your age is 20 to 29, and if your interest rates are greater than or equal to 6%, that should be counted as high interest debt, and you should be aggressively paying that off, okay? If you're 30 to 39 and you're getting and your interest rate is at least 5%, then you should count that as high interest debt. If you're 40 to 49, that goes to 4%, and that should be classified as high interest debt. If you're 50 and above, you should prioritize the student loans, classify them as high interest debt, and just start aggressively paying them off, okay? Auto loans, the downfall of American finances, in my opinion. Here is a sort of guideline, because we understand that even though the best way, in my opinion, to pay for a car is with cash. But if you're in your 20s and you don't have a big income, you don't have much money in your bank account, right? It might be hard to pay for a car fully in cash, right? This is why there are guidelines set in place so that you can pay off these auto loans in a reasonable amount of time. Because why do we need cars, ladies and gentlemen? Because we need a car to get to our main moneymaker, which is our JOB, our job. And in America, unfortunately, most people will be driving to and from work, right? We don't have the public infrastructure for good public transport just yet, which is why if you're thinking about getting a car, or if it falls outside this rule, make sure you're putting 20% down, ideally being able to pay off your car in 3 years or less, and your car payment should not be more than 8% of your income. And if you're buying a luxury car, you should pay it off within 1 year, right? Remember guys, when you're getting a car, this should be taking you from point A to point B, okay? Make sure that we're not getting it just because we want to show off to our friends if we can't afford it, right? Ideally, hopefully you can buy this in cash, but if you can't buy a car in cash like the majority of people, it's A-okay. We have some certain guidelines so that you can pay it off in a certain amount of time, right? We want to be careful for those. When you walk into a car dealership, right, they try to make you focus on the monthly payment, right? Oh, you're only going to pay $500 a month over the course. Well, how many months is it going to take? Oh, it's only going to take 72 months. What? Only 6 years? Well, the average time or the average amount of time a person owns a car is about, I think it's about 7 to 10 years, right? So make sure we're paying that car off in 3 years or less, right? And you guys might have noticed, this is your income. You might be asking, is this net income or gross income? Well, we want to say this is no more than 8% of your income. Why am I not saying net income? Because it depends, net income depends from person to person. It depends on what your what your like withholdings are, what your deductibles are. So based on that, you might think, oh, I could afford more car than I need. No, by making it 8% of your gross income, this gives a baseline standard for all across varying income levels. Okay, so when you see that 8% of your income, treat that as your gross income. Okay. So we're going to talk about the 2 common methods to pay off debt. Now that we've classified, okay, we have high interest debt, and we know what my low interest debt, how do I pay this off? Number 1, the debt snowball. So the debt snowball, how this works is you pay off by the balance smallest to largest. So you have a list of all your debts, all your loans, whichever has the smallest amount that you owe, you start with that one, right? What is the pro of this? Well, it's the best for behavior. Once you get the ball rolling like a snowball, what happens to a snowball as it goes down the hill? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So once you pay off the small debt, you're like, okay, I got this. I'm going to move on to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one. And all of a sudden, all your debts are paid off, right? This keeps you consistent, right? But you might be thinking, like, isn't there a more efficient way to pay off my debts? Now we're going to talk about the debt avalanche, which allows you to pay the least amount of interest on all your debts, right? We're going to list out all your debts and their interest rates, and whichever debt has the largest interest rate, you're going to start off with that first. That way, compound interest isn't working so hard against you, right? So for most people, this is probably going to be your credit cards, right? Those credit cards have nasty interest fees. They have like 20%, 25, 30, 32%. Right? You want to start off with the largest interest rate. That way you minimize the total amount of interest that you're paying across all your loans and debts. To complete step 3, number 1, like I said, list out your debts. Number 2, determine which debts are high interest. And number 3, have a plan to pay it off, whether that's the debt snowball or the debt avalanche. The most important thing here is that you're consistent and you stick to it. Okay, we can't start saving and investing until we pay off these high interest debts, because like I showed you in that first visual, right, you saw that red arrow that went all the way down, right, with a $5,000 credit card debt, right? No matter how many investments you make, that credit card debt is still going to be causing you to lose out on money. All right, here's the foo again. What step are we on now, guys? Emergency reserves, right? Now we can actually start building up our emergency fund so we can have a fully funded emergency fund. 72% of Americans do not have a fully funded emergency fund. Folks, this is scary. If you break a leg tomorrow, if your car breaks down, if something happens, if you lose your job, do you have a fully funded emergency? Will you be okay for the next 3 to 6 months if you lose your job? If your employer calls you tomorrow and says, I'm sorry, you no longer have a position with us, what's your first reaction? Are you going to say, oh, that's okay, I'm going to spend the next 3 months. Luckily, I have an emergency fund. That way I can spend the next 3 months looking for jobs, and I don't have to worry about it because I still have money. So that begs the question, if you want to have a 3 to 6 month fully funded emergency fund, well, should you lean towards more 3 months or 6 months? Well, it depends on your situation, right? You should have maybe like a 3-month emergency fund. If you have high job security, you have maybe lots of income in your households, multiple income streams, maybe it's easy to replace a job, easier for you to find a job, right? No dependents to pay for, and you have a flexible lifestyle, right? You should be aiming more towards a 6-month emergency fund. If you have low job security, if you're the only one maybe earning income in your house, right? Maybe it's difficult to find a new job in your field. Maybe you have dependents, maybe you have kids you have to pay for, right? Maybe you have a mortgage or high fixed costs, right? Then you should be leaning towards 6 months. So it depends, right? You should be able to figure out what your financial situation is and say, okay, I need to have 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months of a fully funded emergency fund That way, I will be prepared if I lose my job tomorrow or if something happens. Okay? So, I guess just want to backtrack for a little bit just to clarify what an emergency fund is. So, number one, to figure out how much you need to save, list out your expenses. What are your expenses for the month? How much does it get? How much does it cost for gas, for groceries, for rent, for your monthly mortgage, right? You add all those up and you find out what your monthly cost is, right? If it's like $4,000, you have need 3 months of an emergency fund. You have maybe $8,000 to $12,000 for your emergency fund, right? So make sure you list out your expenses. You know what your expenses per month are. That way you can fund your emergency fund. Because step one is determining your cash reserves need, right? What are your expenses? And number two, just save. That's it. Simple. And which account should we be putting this money in, guys? I mentioned this earlier. What was it called? It starts with an H. High yield savings account, correct. An HYSA. Please look into that. If you don't know what an HYSA is, go ahead and go ahead and look into what a high yield savings account is. You can open one very easily. If you open up Chrome right now and go to like ally.com, you can open up a high yield savings account. All right, we're getting there, folks. We're about halfway. But this is so very important because we need to know the order in which we put our next dollar into, right? All right, guys. What's step 5? Can you see that? Roth and HSA. Who knows what a Roth and HSA is? Raise of hands. Some people here? Okay, at least one person, that's good. But before we get into that, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. What is a single dollar worth at age 65 if you started investing at age 20? What do you guys think? Just throw out numbers. What is a single dollar worth at age 65? If you took that dollar, if you go back to your 20-year-old self and say, invest this dollar into an index fund or into the stock market. No. Someone says 80, someone says 45, right? A single dollar. Well, if you look at this graph, right? What does that say? That's $88.35. Ladies and gentlemen, if you started at age 20, the earlier you start investing, the more that dollar is going to be worth once you retire, right? For some people, the best time to invest was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But you know when the next best time to invest is? Right now, exactly, right now. We can think about the past all we want, but what can you do now? You can start investing now. That way, that dollar doesn't lose its value on interest. Because remember, things are getting more expensive by the day. If your dollar is not working for you, it's going to work against you by losing out on its value. This is why it's so important to invest, right? This is what's called the wealth multiplier, right? If you look, as you go down, as you get towards 25, 30, 35, 40, that dollar is worth less and less. What that dollar is worth at age 20, it is worth only $4.46 at age 45. Even going from 20 to 25, it cuts it in half. When you're 25 years old, that dollar is only worth $44, which is why it's so important to start investing now. And just a prelude to my next week presentations, how do I invest? Investing 101. What do I do? What do I invest into, right? We're going to go into that next week. This is another wealth multiplier chart, right? So if you look at the monthly savings it takes to be a millionaire at age 65. Look at that right-hand column. You guys can zoom in on your phones. I know it's kind of small. But look at that age 20. At age 20, I only need I need to only save and invest $95 a month at age 20 in order to be a millionaire at age 65, right? At age 25, I only need to save and invest $184, right? As you get older, this number is going to increase and increase. You're going to need to save more and more. That's why it's so important to start now, right? Exactly. Yeah, we're going to get into that next week, right? When we say investments, We're not talking about like day trading or like cryptocurrency. We're gonna invest in something long-term and stable. If you guys know what the S&P 500 is, it's a list of the top 500 U.S. companies, right? That's something that's good to invest in. Index funds. You want to diversify your portfolio, making sure you're not putting all your eggs into one company, all your eggs in one basket, right? That way, if one company falls over, you still have all your other investments in the other companies, okay? So that's a sort of brief prelude into next week. I'm going to show you guys how do I invest. It's so simple, so easy. How do I invest? What do I invest into? Because people are so scared to invest. They're like, I don't know what my money's going to. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to show you guys how simple and easy it is to invest. All right, and the last chart, and this is like the scariest looking chart because there's red in it. If you look at this, all right, the top row there is going to be your target retirement age, okay? And on the left-hand column is going to be your current age. And these percentages are going to be the percent of your income in order to reach your target retirement age. If you look at the small text, right, it says the percentage of your annual income you would need to invest to replace 80% of your income in today's dollars at your target retirement age. So, for example, if a 30-year-old would need to save 24% of your income to replace 80% of their pre-retirement income at age 60. Okay. So, for example, let's take me. I am 24 years old. I'm on. Look at that left-hand column. If I wanted to retire at age 55, I only need to invest 20% of my current income right now. Okay? Yes. Correct. Right? And if I started investing 4 years ago, if I was age 20 and started investing, if I wanted to retire at age 55, it would only take 13% of my income, okay? So remember, the earlier you start, the more. Yeah. Right, it only goes out to 20 to 40 bucks. Yeah, kind of. There's only so many rows and columns we can put, but not to fear, it's never too late. Okay. So, here is the magic of Roth account. So what makes the Roth so strong is because you're able to contribute after-tax dollars. What does this mean? This means when you take this money out of retirement at age, I believe they say it's around 60, 59 and a half, the government cannot touch that money, meaning you can take the money out of that account, that money you invested in that has grown, tax-free. You cannot be taxed. The government cannot touch this money. This is so strong that the government has actually capped the amount you can contribute per year. As of 2026, you can contribute a maximum of $7,500 per year into your Roth account, into your Roth IRA. That's how strong this is. You know, it's something you want to be putting money into and investing in when the government limits how much you can put into it. That's how strong this Roth account is. Okay? Oh, question. For a single 10,000 this year. Oh, 8,000 this year, not 75. Okay. Okay, so wow, it's even better, guys. You can contribute up to $8,000, right? I think there are some caveats here. Yes. Oh, if you're over 60 or if you're over the 59, I don't know actually. I don't know if you're over. That's a good question to Google. I don't know. I can get back to you on that. But what that reminds me of, guys, is with a Roth account, you can actually take money out of it. You can take your contributions out without penalty, but you can't take out the gains that you've realized on those on your contributions, right? So, for example, if I invested $500 and want to take out and let's say my account has grown to maybe like $550. If I wanted, I can only take out my contribution, which is $500, right? That $50 that it has gained from investing, you can't take that out, right? So we don't want to be doing that. This is like break glass in case of emergency. We do not want to be taking money out of our Roth account once we invested it in because of its potential to grow into, as you leave it in there, to be able to accumulate compound interest, okay? And make sure you are, number one, when you're putting money into your Roth account, you have to invest it. A lot of people are just putting money in their Roth account and they're not making the investments. They're not saying which companies they want to invest in. They're not saying, I want to invest this in an index fund. So if you have a Roth account today, double check that you are actually investing that money, because if it's just sitting there, it's not doing anything. It's actually losing money on interest. So make sure you are investing it. So there are two steps. Number one, you put money into the Roth, and number two, you invest that money into Roth, okay? A lot of people stop at step one. They just put money in there, but it's not invested, so you're actually losing money on interest. Number two, a comment, yes, please. Oh, there's a 5-year limit. Okay, that's good. I did. There's a penalty if you withdraw before the 5 years. Correct. 59 and a half, I think, is the number. Yes, correct. That is correct. Yes, so bottom line, you do not want to be withdrawing until you reach retirement from this Roth account, okay? Who knows what an HSA is? Does this sound familiar? Health savings account. Health savings account, this does not apply to everyone. It depends, right? So if you have, I think it's like if you have a high deductible, then you will probably be eligible for a health savings account sponsored by your employer, right? This way, it's designed to help you pay for medical expenses, deductibles, co-payments, and prescriptions. Not everyone has access to an HSA. It's okay if you don't, right? But what this does is it allows your dollars to grow tax-free. This is typically people who have a high deductible insurance plan. There are also limits to how much you can contribute every year. And what you can also do in an HSA is you can actually invest that money in an HSA, which allows your dollars to go tax-free, okay? So not everyone has this, but make sure you're making those investments. You're not just putting money in, forgetting it. You have to put money in and then invest it. Be careful, there is a difference between a HSA and an FSA. An HSA allows you to roll over the money every year, but FSA, once that money, let's say after a year that money doesn't roll over, it expires. So you actually, it's a use it or lose it kind of thing. HSA, you're able to roll over the money each year, okay? So be careful not to, because I saw when I moved into my new company, I was like, a savings account, but it was an FSA. I forgot what the F stands for. So everyone knows, remind me. But FSA and HSA are different. Be careful. Don't be confused by them. They're not the same. So to complete step 5, number 1, contribute enough to max out a Roth IRA. I believe we just found out it was an $8,000 contribution per year. And remember, the per year, it ends in April, tax season, okay? It doesn't end in January. So you have until April of 2027 to max out this year's Roth IRA. Okay, you have until April. Correct, yes, your tax bracket, right? Some people make, correct, some people make too much that they can't contribute to a regular Roth IRA. There is a process called a backdoor Roth IRA, which, let me see if I have it here. I don't remember the process off the top of my head, but there is a way to contribute to a Roth IRA. It's called a backdoor Roth IRA. I would encourage you to look it up. I don't have it with me right now, but there is a process to still make those Roth contributions if you are above the income threshold. I want to say it's, do I have it here? It says I'm seeing here 153,000. I could be wrong. Someone double check me on that. But if you're making more than 150,000, you're not eligible for a regular Roth. You're going to have to do what's called a backdoor Roth contribution. And also, if you have an HSA, you're also trying to max out your contributions on that as well. So step 5, very simple. Roth, HSA, max those out. once you do that, you can move on to step 6. Oh, I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up. Sorry, where did the time go? That's true. Okay. All right, I'm gonna speed through these. What do you think? We'll do a democracy vote. Okay. So we're gonna save steps 6, 7, 8, and 9. Right. If you notice, right, step 9 there's low interest debt. It's gonna be our last debt there, but we've covered steps 1 through 5. Thank you guys so much. We know how to cover our deductibles, get that employer match, making sure we're paying off our high interest debt, making sure we have a fully funded emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months, depending on your living situation. And then finally, maxing out that Roth IRA. That way your dollars can grow tax-free. Government cannot touch your money once you take it out at retirement. All right, sorry for the long, this is very, very good stuff. This is good stuff. And then next week, we're gonna talk about investing. I don't know. I'm not sure because, yeah, I don't. To my understanding is it is used for retirement. We're gonna have to do more research on this. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll get back to you on that. We'll see if. But I think off the top of my head, I want to say no, right? But I'm not really sure. Okay. So thank you guys so much for listening to me talk for a long time, probably an hour, but okay. Yes. It is a lot. It is a lot. But take a picture of this financial order of operations if you can. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Jill. Your topic is very interested. It's very nice. You know, maybe next Sabbath to be continued. Numbers 6 to 1. How? 6 to 9. So maybe I know Brother Jill is next Sabbath is speaker again. Yeah. So next Sabbath, this is our program. Okay. Welcome remark, Brother Mark. Pumayag si Brother Manuel Siya daw mag-opening prayer. I said, Manuel, it's okay, you opening prayer? Yeah. So, Brother Manuel, okay? Roll call, Andre. These are very interesting. Special number 1, Mr. and Mrs. Policarpio, right? Wrong. Okay. Kanta sila. Mayroon bang tumututol? Lahat approve. Approve. Bible quiz, Sister Bona. The book of Mark 1 to 4.